Hey guys, Alec, Peirce at the ranch once again, and yeah, we were going to make a series about this because you already know that I'm a gadget guy and I like toys and I like antiques. You've met Diana. So I have over the years, as I go out to different places and around, I pick up things from my childhood. I have a lot of things actually from my childhood. One of these things I had to show you today was my mom's, and I recall very well her using it and me using it as well when she was baking. But I thought I'd show you some of these neat things for a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm going to get rid of them. My children don't want them, and they don't want the aggravation of having to get rid of them when I'm no longer around. And secondly, they do take up a lot of space. So we're going to get rid of them over a period of time, but I want to show them to you first. They're pretty neat. So some of these gadgets I'm going to show you, you will recognize, some you will not. This is my daughter Shawna, by the way, who is very, very intelligent. And she is, so I chose her so she could, I'm going to ask her if she knows what these things are. Now this one, she knows what it is because it says right down there, Black Flag Sprayer. And Black Flag was a big, big name at one time. Black Flag kills. And I wanted to share this with you for two reasons. First of all, it's old. It's very old. And we know it's old because this type of insect killer is not allowed anymore. The material that you would put into this little jar that screws onto the end here, maybe, screws onto here. Anyway, you unscrew this and you fill this with the liquid from your Black Flag insect killer bottle. That stuff was dangerous. Yeah, got all kinds of terrible things in it. Nicotine, DDT, all kinds of stuff. So you can't use it anymore. So that's one thing, it's pretty old. The second thing is that this concept, you know now if you have mosquito spray, you just press the button. Not in the old days. In the old days you had to pump. Like this. And it was a neat concept. It's actually a scientific concept. Going into the bottle, there's a tube that runs down into the bottle. Maybe you can see that tube there, Kevin, can you? There's a tube that runs down into the bottle, like a straw. And then this pump is just an air pump, like a bicycle air pump. And on the end, there's a tiny, tiny hole. And that tiny hole comes out right above the end of that tube. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, Kevin. It's not terribly important, but it comes out right above that hole. And so what happens when you pump the sprayer, a stream of air racing goes through that little hole. Can you hear that? So it comes streaming out. Now, Bernoulli's principle, Google it, Bernoulli's principle, same principle that allows airplanes to fly and all kinds of things, makes the insect repellent, the insect killer, come up the tube, actually sucks it up the tube and blows it out in the spray. So if you have ants or mosquitoes or flies, you go around the house with your Black Flag killer. It doesn't say in here, keep the kids away, but you should. That's an old one. Anyway, let's look at some more of these, okay? Do you know what this is?
I can guess.
Okay, guess.
Something for making butter or whipped cream?
No, this has got cups on the side, and this has got cups on this side. There's no metric on here, so this is old, huh? This is the one my mom had, and I used to use this. It's really very simple. You see there's a little wooden base on the bottom, and you just put your walnuts in there, and whole walnuts, and crushed walnuts. I used to love it because she would put hard-boiled eggs in there. You take, obviously clean it, put hard-boiled eggs in there, a couple hard-boiled. Because I love egg salad. How do you make egg salad now with eggs? Just a knife?
Pretty complicated.
Egg salad. Just that easy. Neat, huh? Old, 50, 60, 70 years old. Now here's some more. Now this is one that people look at and say, oh, that's pretty neat. That's a pinwheel. No, that's not a pinwheel. Do you know what this is? You do? I must have told you, didn't I?
You did.
This is a neat one, and people can't guess. They'll be, what is that? What is that? This is the simplest thing in the world. It's a neat little gadget. Okay, you see it there, Kevin? 2 semicircles fastened together. What do you do with that? Well, it's really very simple. What you do is you roll out on a counter, just like this, what my mom would do, roll out on the counter your cookie dough. Yeah. Whether it's whether it's peanut butter, we didn't have chocolate chip when I was a kid. Whatever, you roll out your cookie dough, and then you take this and you go along. Won't do it, it's too smooth here. You just roll this along the counter, and then make cookies. And it makes cookies. Every time that goes around, it cuts a cookie in your cookie dough. Cookie cutter. Pretty automatic cookie cutter. All you have to do is push it. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, let's try another one. Related to baking. You know what this is? You can still get these. This is an old one, but you can still get. You know what this is, do you? Mm-hmm. Did you bake? You make pies? I don't think so. No.
I have, but it's not my forte.
Not from scratch. My mother, of course, would make pies from scratch. She get flour and lard and shortening, whatever they do. They put it in and they mix it all up and they get dough. And then they take the dough and they roll it out. Flour and they roll. I used to help her. I was like this tall. And they roll it out on the floor. And then you put it into a pie pan, right? And you used to take the pie pan and she would take a knife and around the edge of the pie pan to cut off the excess dough that hung over, which I loved because I used to grab a piece of that and eat it. One of our neighbors told me one day, "You can't eat that, it's raw." I was so upset. I've been eating it for years and loved it. She said, "You can't eat that, it's raw." Whatever. I kept eating it. And then you put your filling in, whether it's your apple filling or pumpkin, or you put your filling in, okay? And then you have another nice piece of dough you've rolled out and you put that over top, right? And it hangs over the sides as well. And you can take a knife and go around it, but don't. Take this and go around the edge of the pie pan. And as it spins around, the sharp edge cuts the dough so the excess dough falls off onto your counter. And these wrinkles give you a nice knurled edge around the pie. So you get that nice knurled edge that you've probably seen on pie. I don't know how they do this. Well, I said you can still buy these, but I know that sometimes she would pinch it all around the edge. But with this, it cuts the excess dough off and makes a nice knurled edge around the pie. I want a pie edger?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, here's another one. This is very, very simple.
No idea.
No idea what that is. Well, this is actually a spoon or a utensil holder. So you had a pot. You were boiling a pot. Let's pretend this is a pot. It's small. Pretend it's bigger. You had a pot sitting on the stove. And you were stirring it. You're making stew and you're stirring it with a wooden spoon or whatever you're stirring it with. And you need someplace to put the spoon. Where do you put it? Well, if you set this across the pot like so, it just bounces on the pot, and you set your spoon right there. So it's a spoon holder, utensil holder, whatever you want to call it. Okay, now the hard one. What the heck is this? This is called Yankee. Its model name is Yankee. And you can see that this particular one has a number on it. Okay? I don't see the number there. Number 27, is that right, Shawna? Mm-hmm. Number 27, patent applied for. Okay. Number 27 Yankee. And it's a little metal pot. It's made of that rough metal. I forget what that's called, but rough metal. Has a handle on it, and it's all poured. And there's a little hinge for the lid, right? And on the bottom, it's kind of neat because across the bottom, there's a slot, a good-sized slot. And on the front edge of that slot, there's a strong piece of sharp serrated steel right across that slot. So that's the description of what it is. Yankee number 27, a little pot with a lid and a slot on the bottom. Okay. Your turn.
I've been trying to figure this out.
You can't keep it. All right. Okay. Suppose you wanted to make yourself a nice cold drink. Or for whatever other reason, maybe you were going to make ice cream. We used to make ice cream, you know. You want to do something. You need some crushed ice. Shaved ice, it was called. We called it shaved ice, you know, shaved ice. Well, it's simple. You get your Yankee model number 27, and you go to the ice box. You know what an ice box is, right? And you lift the lid on the top of the ice box, and down inside the top of the ice box is your block of ice. That's keeping the refrigerator below cold. And there's your block of ice. And so you just go like that, and you hold that on the block of ice. Ooh, people hate that sound. You do that 2 or 3 times until the pot is filled up with shaved ice. And you dump that into a cup and go and make a nice cold drink for your dear old dad. Hint, Anyway, there you go, guys. There's a couple of street gadgets. These are all kitchen gadgets. I always like to surprise Diana with neat little junk. That, of course, was my mom's and so on with these. And I have quite a few of these. Maybe if you enjoyed that, let me know. I'll share a few more of these with you in the next episode. Okay, thanks for your help, Shawna.
No problem.
Alec Peirce at the ranch, the gadget guy at the ranch, saying goodbye. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.